If you guys have been following the home gym community or market for some time, odds are you guys are getting bombarded with constant reviews and coverage of new products, these budget-friendly, all-in-one trainers that are coming out, many of which now are including a Smith machine. And while I'm kind of resistant to even doing this one, at least I was initially, the more I've been covering these machines, and I, again, was very resistant until about a year ago. I covered one or two of them, like that's probably all I need to do. But I get so many comments and questions about these things, and the more I have reviewed them, they've kind of opened my eyes to realize that this is probably one of the best purchases many people can make for the everyday person. That is the everyday,
for the American working man, because that's what I am, and that's who I care about.
Who's not looking to break the bank and really wants to do everything in a low budget, low footprint way where you could put this thing in a garage, it wouldn't take up too much space. You could also put this in a basement. And so when RitFit asked me to review their Smith machine, I think M2 version 2, all-in-one trainer, it's kind of a mouthful there. Again, I was a little resistant at first, but then I knew my buddy Juan was looking to do something like this, trying to build a home gym, thought he could maybe get something out of this and also give you guys a practical kind of setup and walkthrough of not only how to use the machine in a brief review of this, but also how you guys can put together a total body workout utilizing something like this. So I'm gonna give you guys kind of a sample that I've been doing actually over the past 2 to 3 months, where I've only been working out more or less 2 times a week. I'm actually gonna start deviating away from this. I can get into that later video, but just kind of mix things up. But basically showing you guys how you can really work your whole entire body very easily. There are tons of options you can do with these. Of course, you can add other things, but I know for my buddy Juan, this really fits the bank for him because as you can see, it's in a basic 1-car garage. He already works out at the gym. He might be supplementing this, I don't know. But this is a nice way to kind of get his feet wet into the home gym. And like I said, pretty much do everything. And that's kind of the biggest feedback I've gotten from you guys and also friends that I've also set these things up with. That really this is essentially all you need and they don't really feel like they need anything else. There will be tons of timestamps down below, shameless plugs coming in. If you do want to save money on this machine, they gave me a competitive discount code that does seem to be cheaper on their website and also on Amazon. It does help support me, at least I think it does. I'm not paid to do this video, just giving you guys honest feedback, helping out a friend. And again, I think this is something most people want to see because they are eyeing these things because they seem to be very, very popular. Juan was cool, definitely put this thing together for me. There was a little snafu and a screw missing, but he did go to the hardware store and get that and replace it. Otherwise, the assembly was no problem. He got some stall mats. We're gonna go through you'll see some unboxing pics. You've already kind of seen that through the video. Attachments were pretty simplistic. Tricep dip bars, I think, were a little too far away to actually practically use them. Basic lat pull down. I will say this thing does have aluminum pulleys. It is a 2-to-1 ratio. I'll probably say that throughout. Basic, I would say J hooks are pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive from what I was seeing there, but again, they do the job fine. And then handles, at least they're metal, they weren't plastic, so I do like the handles. I appreciated that. You're pretty much all covered here. Safety bar, I'm drawing a blank here. Just safety spotters came in fine. Landmine got a little scuffed up. We didn't use that. And then you got just a landmine kind of handle there, do some landmine T-bar rows type of deal. And for most part, I mean, this is kind of standard fare for what I've been seeing with a lot of these companies. I almost wonder if they kind of get it from like the same place. I don't know, probably not, but pretty much built the same way, just kind of cheap things of metal. That's a little post there where you can kind of post up your legs for seated rows. Actually worked out fine. Bench actually surprised me. This thing I thought was pretty cool. One, because it was so light, got decent padding, and I think for most people this is gonna do the job just fine. A little more on the squishier side, not super firm, but as you can see, it goes up in that incline, got a slight decline too. I do like that it's got the handle, it is very light, moves very easily with the wheels. Was pretty surprised with the weight plates. I love this kind of color. I was supposed to get the M1 package. I don't know if they forgot weights or not. I brought some extra weights over just I knew we were gonna need them, but it was a pair of 35s and a pair of 25s. Got some weight harness storage in the back that you can remove. I like this kind of vertical storage. You can store things. Pull pin just up and down for the basic adjustments on the cable pulleys. So nothing super crazy. That's pretty much standard fare on the other models that I've been seeing. Now we just pretty much started the workout, and I'll show you some work sets and also just some warm-up sets here a little bit. But right here, I'm just going slow and fluid, just doing some Smith machine squats. I did bring a barbell over. I gave him a barbell, so I'm just gave him one of my old ones. So we didn't actually end up using it. But what I did with Juan here, I won't see it all the time. We did a couple sets, roughly to failure. We did some drop sets. But really, I did some things with Juan too, where I was kind of coaching him through a few little things. But for the most part, I wanted to just kind of get the recording done, just show you guys an example. Juan was working hard. He was kind of going 1 for 1 on some things, and he realized we wanted to keep that slow, steady tempo. We had to do some drop sets, and you'll see Juan here doing a good job with the Smith machine squats right here. And you can see he's gonna be feeling it. He said, I think this is a few days, I don't know, we're maybe a couple days out from this workout, and he was telling me, he's still feeling this even in the quads. So I did a couple drop steps there myself. Actually, that was more like a feeler set. Then after the squats, we just jumped into just some chest presses, Smith machine chest presses. And this is like really my second workout with the Smith machine. Kind of got to failure there a little bit, then right away jumped into a superset, doing some flies with a cable. The pulley feels a little, all these kind of feel the same, where it's almost a little bit of friction, which I don't necessarily mind, but the pulley is not gonna feel like super buttery smooth when you pull it. So you definitely, they give you some, I think, for the rods, and that works out fine. But it is a 2-to-1 ratio. After that last set of the chest presses, this is all I could do right here. So that was Juan's turn. He jumped in here. Didn't get as many reps as he kind of wanted to, but again, we just left it where it was. I obviously edited some of this stuff. We jumped right into the flies. He wanted to leave the same weight that was on there. I kind of told him though, as we were doing this, it'd be hard to kind of get that full fly, so he eventually goes into some presses. But this is great. I mean, the flies and the actual cable stuff felt fine. I mean, as I was doing this, the whole time in my head I'm using this thing is that I could be totally happy with this. I can get a full workout with this thing, and I could deal with this for a while. He wanted to see if he was kind of really at failure, if he wanted to do another set, and I'm like, let's do a couple kneeing push-ups, and sure enough, like we got like 2 or 3, and he's like, yeah, he was kind of shocked at how fast we kind of zapped him. So here I'm doing just, you could do a lat pull down. There wasn't like a buffer for your knees, but I just positioned the bench a certain way. So if you want to do any kind of vertical pull, tons of different variety of angles you guys could hit, especially with this bench, if you kind of sit back a little bit. Kind of a weird story here. As I was doing this, I got up from my set and there was a police officer in the garage. I won't get to the whole logistics of it, but it was actually lucky Juan was around. He caught or I guess he's gonna witness to something. Moral of the story is don't let your kids walk home. They caught the bad guy, but it was some scary stuff in the area. It just happened to happen when we were recording this. After that kind of ate up about 20-ish minutes, maybe 15 minutes talking to the police officer. But then after that, we jumped back into the workout. Juan did a set of the last one of the vertical pulls, and then we did a seated horizontal pull. So squat bench or squat chest, go and do some back vertical pull, horizontal pull. I was showing Juan, coaching him some stuff with just kind of form-wise in between offsets. I was kind of encouraging him to kind of feel that stretch in the mid-back. It's feeling the stretch in the lats. And as he was rowing, he really corrected this, where you can't really see it in this video, but it was more that upper back. We wanted to see some kind of movement and kind of contraction back there. After this, we did some shoulders or delts. So just did some lateral raises. And this is what I mean, you can do everything. So even if you don't have a dumbbell set, adjustable dumbbell set would be good. That'll probably be Juan's next thing. If I can get another set into review, I'll definitely hook up Juan with one of those. But if you don't, in the meantime, you just use cables. So this is very tough. Again, 2-to-1 ratio. I think I had the 25s on here, and that was kind of fine with me, even considering the chest was still kind of blasted. But then I did right away into a superset. Once my delts were kind of fatigued for the lateral raises, I go ahead and do just 4 presses to kind of, I can eventually kind of go to closer grip too. But I cash out here, and then Juan jumps in. We didn't record his lateral raises, but again, we wanted to show, and he was surprised too, even with no weight, he handles a lot of heavier weight in the gym. Once we kind of went to almost failure on a couple of these sets, considering some drop sets, that was pretty much it. Once shoulders are out of the way, again, guys, this is something you guys can do pretty much in your own gym right here. I've been doing this for a couple weeks, more or less the same kind of template. If you've been following, you might have caught onto this. But just did some arms, biceps. Really only got like a set or 2. I think I did maybe a drop set here, but 1 set of bicep curls. I was joking with him that he's got good lighting in here because we're kind of looking more pumped up than usual. But corrected or kind of coached Juan again not to kind of use as much of a shoulder action, kind of keeping the elbows dialed in. And just for fun, I had the collar hooks there. I was showing him the collar hooks with the barbell, so shameless plug. I just do those in here as well if you guys want to check that out. But totally cashed out. I could barely do any repetitions and with the bicep curls and overhead presses. And then finally, we did just do some basic calf raises. I did use the plate, but eventually I kind of ditched that out of the way. All this though, guys, with this machine does essentially everything, not to mention all the little attachments you guys can add to this machine. Keep in mind how small its footprint is, that this very basic workout that I just did, keep in mind there's so many different variations you guys could do. Instead of doing squats, you could have done lunges or drop step lunges. Not to mention if you got something else, there are band pegs. You can see them here in the video at the bottom attached. I just didn't use them, but there's band pegs you can attach on for variable resistance. The sky is the limit with these things. Now, at the end of the day, would I personally buy this if I didn't have it? Absolutely. Comparing it to other companies I've tried, and you kind of know what I'm talking about, especially if you watch the channel. The biggest thing I noticed is that it felt very similar. The cable felt very similar. The only thing I noticed in the RitFit that I thought was definitely, at least in the ones I tried from another company, the Smith machine felt better on this than compared to the other one. It didn't have much of a rotation. I believe this Smith machine you're facing out the way you're seeing it. The other Smith machine, I think I was facing more inward towards the rack, so take that for you will. But I will say the Smith machine just felt a lot smoother, and I preferred that overall. So that was kind of, you're taking some little sacrifices, but as far as how the Smith machine felt compared to the other one, I liked how this one felt. And again, it might be just be very minor. The only downside I didn't like about the RitFit was the tricep handles. I think they were kind of too far away to practically use it. Otherwise, everything else, it's functionally there. I think how you measure up in the grand scheme of things with discounts and sales, it's probably up to you, but I think what's also attractive about this is that these packages throw in weights, they throw in attachments. I think one of these attachments, one of their packages actually throws in adjustable, or sorry, just standard dumbbells too, which is also something really cool. That's really it, guys. Not much to say about it. I can do a lot more of these all-in-ones if you guys want to see it. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to your price point, what you're interested in, because I think they're all kind of somewhat similar. But I do love these things, and I'm not just saying that. If I had to start all over again, and I'm starting over again on a budget, I would definitely consider, or I would definitely would just pick up one of these things. That's it though, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, let me know, and I'll see you on the next video.